the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we are here with the OP Racing Premier Series as they bring you the Bumpy Road 250 presented by Butt Kicker. Qualifying is underway. YouTube chat is firing off, and Andy Brigante goes across the start-finish line, and Brigante up into 14th place. Qualifying has been going on for a while. We got 1 minute left in qualifying. And so that means we're going to step away for a quick moment and do the national anthem and then fire off with tonight's official starting lineup. So until then, nobody go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the OP Racing Premier Series brings you the Bumpy Road 250 presented by Butt Kicker. I am your host for tonight. My name is KR Stolfus, and it is time to get right into tonight's starting lineup. So let's get into it. On the inside of row number 1, Gabe Butler in the 88, a driver who is in a must-win situation, finding himself with the best starting spot you could get. Workman to his outside in the 04. Row number 2, Kevin Freis in the 25. Championship contender comes into tonight with a bit of a buffer, but nothing set in stone just yet. Zach Fritsch, the winner of the Grand National Series last Wednesday. He is the champion on Wednesday night, finding himself on the outside of row number 2. Row 3, Brian effing Wang and Logan the Kid Helton already locked in what's let's see what Logan has in store for us here tonight. Les Levy, Eric Laurie, row number 4. Row 5, Steve Karosik and Peter DeBorgia. Row 6, Jeff Crosby Jr. and Jim Maier in the 95, a championship contender. Row number 7 going to be made up of Sebastian Marin, just 1 point below the cutoff line, and Jimmy Reynolds in the 17. Row 8, Anthony English, Cody Nagels. Row 9, Daniel Holloway, Casey Gilchrist, Josh Milam, and Andy Brigante in row 10. Row number 11, Zach Workman, who is 2 points to the good in the championship contention. Sean McCara to his outside, Dave Hunt, John Guerrero for row 12. Row 13, Nate Warren and David Overstreet, David Booth, and Rick Siebrands in the 4. Keep an eye on that 4 here tonight. Hunter Reynolds, Sean Stevens, Richard Sanchez, and Dan Harrington make up this 32-car field here tonight. I promise Al will be here in just a minute, but until he is, y'all are stuck with me as we get ready to fire off the green flag here tonight, as we are underway for the first time. Gabe Butler leads this field into turn number 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we also have an extra special addition to this. The moment Al gets in here, it'll be a 3-party up in the booth. But for right now, let me introduce none other than Brian Hicks into the booth. Brian, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. The race is underway. The green flag is out. So, yeah, here we go.
It's heating up front, man. They're side by side for like, what, 8, 9 rows deep. Fritz and Man trying to battle it out. Let's see, what is it, Man and Fritz both trying to make the contenders tonight? Or is it just Gabe in the top 4 that's got a chance to make the final 4?
So Gabe Butler is one of our championship 8 contenders who would like to be in the final 4 for sure. Mark Mann is not one of them. Zach Fritz in the 12 also is not one of our championship contenders here, but he's already got that championship locked up last Wednesday. So Brian, how are you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I generally spot for Logan. He obviously doesn't need it tonight. He secured his spot into the Final 4 last week with a pretty incredible win. So I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible tonight. But man, I just enjoy watching good super speedway racing, and I mean, every week I watch Logan do this, and every single one of these guys put on an amazing show. So to be up here in the booth and help you call this race is going to be pretty big.
All right, Brian. Well, it looks like already you have a fan in YouTube chat. I don't know if you have that pulled up or not, but Bobby Helton sounds like he's ready to celebrate you being up here.
Oh yeah, Mr. Bobby. I'm a big fan of Mr. Bobby.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big fan of him as well. But right now, Logan Helton in the 63 is pushing the 12 of Zach Fritz. Couple of champions finding themselves all right there in the mix. Eric Laurie, champion. Zach Fritz, Logan Helton, Mark Mann. Oh my goodness, the cream always finds a way to rise to the top.
Now with Zach Workman kind of hanging out in the back, so are all of these guys that, other than Logan, are they like in a must-win position? Is it just basically win and you're in, or?
Of the championship 8, it is a win and you're in. Logan Helton picked up the win last week, so he's already locked in. But if he's smart, he will know that the threat comes from a few drivers who must win in that 88 of Gabe Butler, who's out in front of him right now, and also the 4 of Rick Siebrands. So the 88 and the 4 are kind of in a must-win situation realistically. Mathematically, they don't have to win, but realistically, they do.
Is this the final race before the championship 4?
This is the final race before the championship 4.
Okay.
So Logan, if he wants to try and control who makes it in, and to me, like, I'm looking at the field, and I have an idea of who's strong, who's not this season, and I'd say Gabe Butler, Rick Siebrands, they're the biggest threat to Logan Helton, but they're also at the bottom of the running order in the points. They must win. So if Logan keeps at it, gets that win, he's going to keep one of them, quite possibly, from coming and trying to steal the championship.
And I had an ear to the garage earlier, and I know the 63 camp is planning on, if he can and the stars align, try to help Siebrands win tonight, or at least I don't know what kind of point situation Siebrands is in. But
well,
I know there was some.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. There's the points as they come into tonight's race. Logan Helton is the race winner from last week, so he locked himself in. Kevin Freis, 10 points to the good. Zach Workman, 2 points to the good. And Jim Maier, just 1 point to the good, coming into the race here tonight. But then Sebastian Marin, Brian Wang, Gabe Butler, and Rick Siebrands all on the downside of that top 4 points. But only one driver can win this race, and so that means at least 2 of these drivers are going to point in. So a lot of different strategies are going to be played out here.
Looks like there's been a shuffle in the top side. Oh, they're pulling down from pits.
First group of drivers to hit pit road, and Zach Fritsch in trouble, and Gabe Butler dodges it.
Oh no! He collected the 33.
Jeff Crosby Jr. gets collected, Les Levy gets collected, and Zach Fritsch with a big old fat egg on his championship trophy from Wednesday night. Oh dear. He got in there a little hot. Tried to hold on to it, just couldn't quite pull it off.
That was a tough break for Jeff Crosby Jr. He didn't really have anywhere to go, and just T-boned that guy spinning through pit road.
Next group of drivers on the pit road, and this one not without its tight quarters as well. And that was the most conservative pit entry I've ever seen the 63 of Logan Helton do. I'm pretty sure he took a nap on that entry. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at our race info here for tonight. We are in the round of 8. It is the final race in the round of 8. As I mentioned earlier, at least 2 drivers will get in on points. Logan Helton is locked in. Our stages are at lap 25 and lap 50, and that is at the completion of those laps. And 1 fast repair is available to the drivers here tonight. And so the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds out in front of the field right now. But Reynolds has not hit pit road, along with the other 8 drivers that are right there with him that are on the lead lap. Zach Fritsch in the 12, Gabe Butler in the 88, all having to serve some penalties, along with the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. So Gabe Butler, who was one of the drivers who we say realistically is in a must-win situation, already got hit with a 40-second penalty on pit road.
Lap 12, and the top 9 still staying out. Leading that pack to Jimmy Reynolds. I don't know how many laps can they, what's the average amount of laps they can go on a tank of gas?
About, we'll see them hit pit road when they're really trying to stretch it around 17, 18.
Okay.
But the guys that have hit pit road here, they know this stage is going to end at lap 25, or at the completion of lap 25. So that's why they came down pit road around lap 8. It all kind of plays out.
None of the guys in your top 9 that have stayed out, none of these guys are in contention to make the final 4. So really nothing to lose by these guys staying out and taking a gamble.
No, and time again, on Monday night and Wednesday night, the first group of drivers to hit pit road almost always comes away with the race lead. What these guys are trying to do, I don't know, because if a caution comes out, they're not going to gain an advantage because the drivers who have pitted are not going to come back down pit road. So right. I think they're just staying out because they want the clean air. They want to log the laps without stress, and they just want to be up front. Rick Siebrands.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rick Siebrands in the 4 in a must-win situation, going a lap down. He had a solid pit stop, but had nobody that would work with him. So the 4 is down a lap. However, this group that he is with will all hit pit road, so he will get back on the lead lap. But a lot of trouble here early for 2 of our championship contenders who are in must-win situations. Rick Siebrands and Gabe Butler already 1 lap down, and we're only on lap 15 of 100.
I love seeing these guys move around at Bumpy Daytona, man. This is it's so entertaining to watch these guys slip and slide the back end of the car, especially the guys on the bottom, trying to keep it down off of the high lane. You don't want to push them out too far, and then the high lane's got to keep them pinned down, but not too much, because you know when you're trying to hold that yellow line, the rear, especially as the tires wear out. I assume most of these guys don't take tires when they come into pit, but the wear, or this whole track surface can put some wear on these tires, and you'll see the rear end starting to kick out as they try to hold it down on the bottom coming off of the corners.
When I started my iRacing career back in 2014, and I did air quotes around career, this track was my favorite track because it was one of the ones where you actually had to drive, as far as for super speedways, where you actually had to drive. All the others, you held your foot down and then you just ran a smooth line. This one would upset the car, the truck, whatever you were in, it would upset it, and you had to work at keeping that race car straight and fast. And many times in iRacing officials, I started at the back and I worked all my way to the front to win the race. And it's one of my favorites.
This track ruined iRacing for me. There's a big iRacing event that happens at this track, and I'm not one to practice, but I put a lot of practice in for that particular race, and the car was on edge it's on a razor edge during qualifying, and put too much practice in, and then got burnt out on it. And as soon as that whole event was over, I had to put my take my hands off of iRacing for a little while. This is one of those tracks that you are gonna love it or hate it.
Yeah, I can see that, and it's one that I've always loved. Here on Monday nights, there's 2 tracks that are my favorite, and it's this Bumpy Legacy Daytona, and it's the iRacing Super Speedway. That's because anytime that a track makes me get my elbows up, oh man, I'm ready.
I'm thinking that these guys up front, with them being in a line like this, they're going to peel off now. They might have somewhat of an advantage. Uh-oh. Jimmy got in kind of hot.
Oh, Jimmy. Oh, my goodness.
Not
Jimmy.
kind of hot. He got in real hot.
Jimmy said, you know what? I'm going to beat this 40-second thing by just going ahead and sending it.
We'll see him back on pit road for long.
He's going to be on pit road for over a minute. That was a hot entry on the pit lane.
Brian Wang's going to lead that group from earlier, that pit, to the line, and they're going to go ahead and pass the current leaders, or the previous top 9. They're 3 wide up there in that group.
All right, the final few drivers who have not hit pit road finally come down pit lane, and they are making their pit stops.
At speed.
But our race leader, Brian Wang.
Oh, we got one in the wall, the 71.
Oh, trouble, and they are out of shape and out of control, and big time trouble for this group.
Championship implications.
Oofda.
Sebastian Marin involved. He's looking for a spot in the final 4.
All right, let's go ahead and back this up, and let's see what brought out our first caution of the night. John Maier gets into the wall, tags the 23, the 04. Oh my goodness, it was just a slaughter. Take another look at it here. John Maier in the 71. Just bouncing off the wall, and tough break there for everyone around him.
Of your championship 8, I think Sebastian Marin and the 19 of Zach Workman, I think they were the only 2 not locked in that were involved in that race, or in that wreck.
All right, so we will get the green flag back out to wrap up this stage. So it's not set in stone just yet. Anthony English in the 44 scored as the race leader. Dan Harrington in the 82 in second. And Jimmy Reynolds somehow, even though he's not the lucky dog, he's the luckiest dog out there, because he had over a minute on pit road. And when this caution came out and slowed the field up, it allowed him to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's very fortunate for him that they wrecked when they did, because he was...
Oh, he was screwed.
undoubtedly getting gonna be at least
he was
one,
dead.
potentially 2 laps down.
He was so dead that they did a DNR on him.
Oh no.
But that yellow came out, and he went, oh, I'm still in this race. All right, Brian, so tell us a little bit about yourself. One, because I can't recall ever actually talking to you before now. So I have no idea what we're looking at with you.
So I mean, I've been on the service for, I want to say 12 years off and on.
Oof.
Yeah, it's been a put a lot of money in this.
iRacing fanboy.
Yeah, we was around from the original days. I mean, I've never been great at the driving part. I love doing it, but it's I get more out of. I like to say I'm better at running my mouth than I am running a race car, because I don't like to toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty damn good spotter at, you know, when I have the trust of the driver.
I listened to the Door Bumper Clear podcast. Nothing wrong with being a spotter, man.
I guess I kind of got my name out there through running some, unfortunately, bottom split races, but just kind of became a fan favorite, I guess, at times, and then just, I don't know, kind of blossomed from there. I worked my way up the ladder as far as skill level, and rubbed elbows with the right people, and ended up spotting in the Coke Series one year, and now trying to get back in there with Logan Helton. Not really affiliated with any team as of right now, but we just kind of, we float around. We float around, not hated by anybody, not loved by anybody, but we're just kind of there.
All right, well, show us your chops. Call this green flag.
All right, man. Anthony English is going to lead us to the green. Outside of him is going to be Dan Harrington, 82. They're on the loud pedal. Dan Harrington with a big shot from Sean Stevens, as they're going to head down into turn 1. Dan Harrington trying to hang on to the right rear of of Anthony. Backstretch. That outside line is going to get a big run as they head into turn 3. I love watching these Xfinity cars, man. I think these put on some of the best racing at super speedways. But man, it's just, I wish these guys could build those massive runs like they used to, and kind of like what the A car does now. I think it would put it on even better racing. But as far as the draft model and the way these guys are able to work together and somewhat tandem, man, it's hard to beat. I mean, you see Anthony and Dan nearly touching doors there through 1 and 2.
Well, I'll tell you, I do think that these guys put on a good show here in the Xfinity cars with the B-class car as far as iRacing is concerned. But we did have a few drivers peel off for pit road and play the strategy card. They're going to go for track position, but drivers going for the stage win. We got one more lap to go. Dan Harrington, Anthony English. These guys have their rows locked down, and they are going to try and send it into turn 1 once again. Final lap in stage number 1. Mr. Hicks, take it away.
Anthony English is going to be out front, but don't look now. Dan Harrington, oh, he just got a shot to the left rear from Sean Stevens. He got a little upset off of 2, but they're going to be side by side, both rows, 4 or 5 deep, going into turn 3. And here comes the 19 of Zach Workman trying to make the third line work. I don't know if he's going to have enough help to make it work, but here they come looking at the white flag, or the green white checkered flag to end the stage, and it's going to be Anthony English there as the cautions wave.
Caution comes out. Rick Siebrands did finish in 10th spot, got himself a bonus point for that stage finish. However, Kevin Freis got some points. Zach Workman, Brian Wang, all those guys finished ahead of Rick Siebrands. So the driver of the 4 still has some work to do. The ones who are really hurting now, well, Gabe Butler didn't get any stage points, and Logan Helton didn't either, but he's locked in, so he was lounging around at the back. So our championship contenders still have some work to do, but our stage winner is the 44 of Anthony English. But Brian, how do you feel about doing a interview?
Let's bring him in.
All right. Well, I have a rule. I bring them in after their pit stop because drivers can only do one thing. They can't drive and talk at the same time, right? They can only drive and hit pit road speed limit. So we'll talk to the 44 as soon as he hits his pit stall and gets out of pit road. But yeah,
that was an incredible race to the end of that stage. I liked seeing that third lane for him. Zach Workman was trying to lead that charge, but just I think it was a little too late. The guys behind him didn't get the chance to kind of set that up the way they maybe needed to get the momentum going, but it was a valiant effort, and it ended up getting him a couple stage points.
Well, here comes the field on the pit road. Everyone hitting their boxes as best they can. All right, so Al Smith is supposed to be here. He's not here yet, so I do have Brian Hicks here with me. So Brian, first of all, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem, it's a pleasure.
Otherwise, I'd just be up here talking to myself. And
ain't nothing wrong with
that. You say that. All right, so Anthony English is our stage winner, and let me bring him up here. And Brian, take it away, man.
Anthony, this is Brian Hicks. I'm up here with KR. You got yourself a stage win there, buddy.
Sure, Brian, what's happening?
Doing well, doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing really well.
You managed to hold off a hornet's nest behind you coming to the the green and white checkered there.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. Got to race Dan and Richard there for a stage win. So nice little race with teammates and Sean Stevens there. That was pretty fun. got a little lucky there though. When they ended up there without some luck.
I know that's right. Luck is involved heavily at a super speedway like this, but you managed to start out there in the pole position, or not the pole position, but out front on that last restart, and keep your help behind you, and keep mainly control of both the bottom and middle lanes. So, I mean, I can only commend you for that, because I'm telling you, man, they were 3 wide behind you and they were charging.
I was just doing the best I could. I had Sean Stevens there behind me pushing me. He's a hell of a pusher, so I knew it was in good hands with him. So just thankful for him being there, and the rest of my teammates. We had a really lucky stop there. I mean, we literally ran our tanks out, and we came in, just got done fueling up and stuff, and the caution comes out, so we were able to, us 4 were able to beat the leaders out and take the lead, and end up taking the stage win there. So
Well, good job, man. That strategy ended up paying off for you, and you ended up with stage win. Throw a sticker on that car. But we appreciate you taking a little bit of time and coming up here to talk to us.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you.
All right, that is Anthony English. Mr. English, what team are you with here tonight? And shout-outs, thank yous you'd like to give.
I give a shout out to you guys, KR and Brian, up in the booth tonight. It's pretty cool. Must be exciting for you, Brian. My teammates at Vendetta, Richard and Dan, so who's here with me tonight. Family, friends watching, and my beautiful girlfriend that doesn't give you too much crap for doing this all the time.
Well, there you have it. That is Anthony English, driver of the 44 from Vendetta Motorsports. And Brian, nice shot. I liked it.
Yes, sir.
Good.
I've been around. I've been around the block a time or two.
You want to hang up your spotter and come be a broadcaster?
Woo. We'll talk about it. Oh man, going green here. Dave Hunt leads them to that green flag this time by. He's getting a big shot from Logan Helton, who's got, you see, a little bit of damage there to the right rear from that first big wreck that they had. But Peter DeBorja on the outside looks pretty daggum strong if the 21 of Daniel Holloway can just get to his back door. And he's going to clear the inside line of Daniel Holloway.
Peter DeBorja in the 40 is our race leader. Holloway right on his back bumper. Here comes the 53 of Dave Hunt right down on that yellow line. He's got that inside line, and Holloway drops down to the inside to take over the spot from that inside lane. Brian Wang in the 5 right now is doing all he can to stay up in front, and Kevin Freis in the 25 is keeping him honest. And right now we got a couple championship contenders inside the top 10, and they're mixing it up. So Brian, if you're a spotter, what are you telling your driver watching these guys who are championship contenders?
If I'm Brian Wang, I'm saying stay in front of Kevin Freis right now. I'm saying if you look in your rearview mirror and you see a green splitter, you stay in front of it. And really, I mean, you've got to be in a position here to obviously make another. You're going to make a pit stop call, and you're going to be working with your teammates to try to figure out when you're going to come in early and come and get back out and start working together to start picking up time. But you're going to do whatever possible to keep that car out front. If you're out front, you're out of trouble.
Out front is out of trouble, but sometimes that does get you in trouble. However, if you are a driver, if your driver, Brian, is in a must-win situation, what are you telling them, especially if they're somewhere around, let's say 27th spot, like the 4 of Rick Siebrands?
Oh, if I'm Rick Spotter, I'm saying hang out. Just stay just close enough to keep the draft. There's no reason to get up there in the field and fight for stage points. Let's let these guys wreck. Let's let them use, whatever. I don't know if do they have a fast repair?
They all have one fast repair. Some of them, I think, used it in that first dust up.
Right. I'm saying let's hang out the back. Let's keep it clean. As you see them pile off, and I'm gonna.
Oh, on the pit road, yeah.
A couple of them trying to get in there pretty hot, but yeah, Siebrands, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He needs to stay with this main pack, stay with the pack that your teammates are in, and they're gonna keep you safe. But if you're not up front, you hang out at the back and you wait for them to wreck, and you make sure you got enough room behind you where you ain't gonna get run over.
All right, well, the 40 of Peter DeBorja is out in front. Nate Warren in the 9 on his back bumper. Andy Brigante and that Lamborghini 13 that is 1, 2, and 3. Here comes Richard Sanchez in the 510 up on the top lane, but he has someone with him. That is the 23 of Sebastian Marin, and Sebastian Marin finding himself digging hard on some points gaining.
Siebrands has got to be careful now, because he did have to use his fast repair after that last big wreck. He's got what he's got at this point, and he's got to be real timid about how he handles these pack situations. If he can't stay out front, I feel like he's in the same situation as Siebrands, and you just kind of gotta, bide your time until things shuffle out. And if they don't wreck coming to the closing laps of this race, that's when you just gotta put it all out there and give them hell.
All right, Sebastian Marin on the pit road. So another championship contender hitting pit lane, trying to offset different strategies here in stage number 2. Hunter Reynolds in the 26 Reynolds wrap machine out in front. The 17 of Jimmy Reynolds pushing on his back bumper. How about that father-son duo running a 1 and 2? And then we got Sean Stevens, David Overstreet, and Richard Sanchez to round out the top 5 right now. And Zach Fritsch still in the mix. He hasn't given up just yet.
No, it's surprising to see a big group like this, and you see it. I guess it's a strategy called by these guys who are in the championship 8. But after all the pit cycles, you see a big group of nothing but just the guys out there fighting for a win, not really fighting to lock themselves in the top 4. But you just have this massive group trucking around the racetrack, running the tanks dry, and it's really interesting to see how these trouble. 77.
He tagged the wall
Hard
and
hit.
got someone else.
Oh no!
John Guerrera in the 59.
That's Levy involved.
So yellow flag comes out here in stage number 2. Ooh, and this is the final race for Les Levy here in season 10. Small fact, Les will be in Japan for the final race of the season.
That's gonna be fun.
All right, let's see if we can figure out what happened here. John Guerrero just gets up and into the wall, and around goes to 62. I picked some bad camera angles there. Let's try another one. Oh, the 33 involved in something else.
Look like a poor judgment. It's hard to tell.
I don't know what I'm going to say on that one. And if that's what I have to add, then it's best to keep my mouth shut. All right, so
all these guys making pit stops, trying to get some gas. It's gonna be Anthony English back out front again with stage break at 50.
Yep, completion of lap 50.
Similar situation he was in last time. Let's see if he can double up on stages.
All right, between the race leader and the pace car, that is the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. He is on the lead lap currently, so he's looking for the wave around to get past the pace car. Last time he was on pit road was at the stage break. So now the 33 still will have to make a pit stop in this stage, but he will get the wave around, and maybe he's hoping for another caution to put him on the same cycle as everyone else.
That's what I'm guessing. If I'm him and I know I can't make it, I mean, I might actually be willing just to peel off right at the drop of the green flag. If I'm already starting at the rear, peel up while these guys are trying to get up to speed, and maybe like you said, hope for a quick caution. I'm not going to let these guys get up to speed before I pit, though.
Well, he's going to have to do something, because once you come down pit road, you're pretty stationary.
Yeah.
All right,
all of a sudden,
field stacked up, the 44 of Anthony English on the inside of row number 1. To the outside, the 95 of Jim Maier, who is one of our championship contenders, looking for a solid points gain with a good stage finish. Brian Wang in the 05 on the inside of row number 2. Logan Helton in the 63 to the outside. And row number 3 for this restart, the 25 of Kevin Freis and the 21 of Daniel Holloway. So, Mr. Hicks, Mr. Brian Hicks, your name in YouTube, in Discord is Spotter Hicks.
oh yeah.
So, do I just call you Mr. Spotter Hicks?
Nah, just call me Brian.
Just call you Brian. And how soon
Brian.
can you be at my house, Brian?
At your house?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I got $5.
Oh, what do you need me there for, man?
I'm willing to call a race.
I'm here.
I need you to look over my shoulder.
Pace car's off, and Anthony English hits it. And he's got all the help in the world from Brian Wang. But Logan Helton just shoving the absolute dog food out of Jason Maier.
Dog food. Sorry, I wasn't ready.
Man.
I got it. I got the joke. I
know you did.
I wasn't ready for it.
Brian Wang all over the back of Anthony English like a cheap suit. It is side by side into turn 3. Anthony English on the inside, and James Maier just trying his hardest to hang on the outside. Hey, these guys are advancing around.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's the beauty of this Legacy Daytona track. It makes you put your elbows up. You have to drive the track more than you drive your competitors.
That's a fact. Brian Wang looks outside and finds daylight, gets a shot from James Maier, and looking to clear Anthony English before he gets to 3. He don't. Anthony English pulls right up on his inside door with the help of Kevin Freis. And now side by side off of 4 with just 8 to go before we get the stage break, KR.
Brian Wang in the 05 needs a solid run. And John C says, do these have stick shift? The Xfinity cars do. The B-Class cars do, yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the drivers are equipped in a simulator rig with a stick shift. How you doing, John?
Wang still trying everything he can to get clear of Anthony English. I think he wants to dip down to that bottom. He's going to get clear off of 4. Now he's just looking to control the lanes as there's 7 to go before the stage break. And a slew of green spoilers have made their way to the front of the pack.
Anthony English in the 44, our stage 1 winner, still out in front, trying to seal the deal here for stage number 2. Brian Wang, though, a championship contender, trying to pad his points accumulation in the final race to set the championship 4. And Brian Wang, Kevin Freis, they're running 2nd and 3rd right now. Gabe Butler, who was down and out just a little bit ago, finding himself inside the top 10. And Rick Siebrands still in 10th. Zach Workman in 9th place. Our championship contenders are doing all they can to earn every point possible. And once again, you can see, Brian, how the cream rises to the top lap after lap.
That it does, and off of 4, they'll see 5 to go before the stage break. Anthony English is just looking so strong on the bottom. Every time Wayne gets a run on the outside, English just reels him right back in with the help of Kevin Freis, and they just can't get away. That outside line's got a lot of strong players in it, but Anthony's just got that inside line strumming through the front stretch. And as you see him edge forward going into 1, got a Wang by about a half a car length, and it's just basically gridlock. But like the last stage, I fully expect a 3rd lane to form here by one of these green spoilers before too long.
Kevin Nagels chiming in. How you doing, Kevin? Good to see you out here tonight. Kevin cheers for Cody. And the only thing I can figure, Brian, is it's because they share the same last name.
That's probably got a little bit to do with it. Man, there's the 3rd line being formed. Helton's up there all by himself. Couple guys shuffling around. Oh, the 25 of Kevin Freis got in the outside line. Big wreck. Yellow flag is out. I would assume that ends the stage.
It will end the stage. Brian Wang in the 05 right now being shown as the race leader. But let's go ahead and back this up a little bit, because I think we had a few drivers caught up in this one that have championship implications. On board with the 25 of Kevin Freis. You saw the shot of the 88 of Gabe Butler go spinning. Oh my goodness. This one's going to hurt for several drivers. Jim Maier involved.
Yeah, that's not good. That's really unfortunate for a couple of these guys. Kevin Freis was having a really strong run, pushing Anthony English. I'm not really sure what triggered all of this. I guess Kevin just got a little out of sorts there and kind of washed up down the back stretch and made a overreaction to try to get back down to the bottom, maybe.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's tough no matter what, but here they come on the pit road. Brian Wang leads this field on the pit lane, and that makes him our stage 2 winner as far as I'm concerned. Jeff Crosby Jr. and John Guerrera out of the race. John Guerrera in the 59, Jeff Crosby Jr. in the 33. Jeff, you want to join us in the booth if you're still here? We'll let you. And by we will let you, Brian Hicks has no say in what I do. All right, so Brian, you've done great so far. You wanna talk to Brian effing Wayne?
Let's bring him in.
Let's bring him in. I agree. I mean, why not? There you go.
Brian effing Wang. This is Brian Hicks up in the booth with KR, man. How are we doing?
Doing pretty good. First stage win of the season.
That's awesome, man. You looked really strong on the outside. You had a lot of help, but y'all never could. I saw you get clear of Anthony English like maybe twice. What was the call? Why didn't you jump down on that bottom line, seeing how strong it was?
We didn't think that it would be that strong if Kevin was the third car. Of course, when English was leading the inside, it was Kevin pushing. And
Right.
English, he did not pit the previous caution. I think he pitted on 28, and so, and I think he had to pit like really soon, and this caution kind of saved him. And so I just decided to stay top. It was smoother up there, and it's a stronger line up there.
Well, it paid off. You just kind of diced your way through the field to get up there, and then managed to. Let me ask you this: were you worried about that third lane foreman? Because Logan Helton jumped up there, and he had a little bit of help for a minute, and then it just kind of all dissipated, and then before calamity happened on the backstretch. But was you worried about having to potentially block a third lane in the closing laps at that stage?
Obviously everyone behind me, there was Logan and Maier and Holloway and their old teammates, so I was afraid that they would just go to the third lane and hang me out to dry, but luckily that didn't happen. But then obviously the contact between Maier and Kevin happened, and I think that was just because of miscommunication, because it looked like Maier went up a bit, and so Kevin went to the second line so that he could push me, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, man. Well, y'all getting ready to go green here. Is there anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and thanks to Team Bootnaka.
All right, well, there you have it. Brian effing Wang from Team Bootnaka, our Stage 2 winner. And, Brian, we talked to Brian on Stage 2. There's a lot of Brians here.
One too many.
Ooh, there can only be one?
No. That's Brian effing Wang. If anybody's got to go, it's me.
All right, well, green flag is back out. Stage 2 done and into the books, and our final sprint to the end of this race here tonight. Richard Sanchez in the 510 has the race lead, coming off of turn number 2. But look out, here comes Logan Helton in the 63, Anthony English in the 44. Big Will, he can't decide where to be. He's holding on to that race car. Holy cow, I thought we would have a yellow there, but we got through it.
Yeah, Helton was looking, it was a smart but very risky move to do what he just did. He saw a hole just big enough, it maybe not even big enough for his car to fit in. He pressured the situation to back everything up because he knew he was falling back quick. Nobody wants to go with him right now. He's got a little bit of damage to the right rear. And it paid off. But that was a very risky move to try to force the situation to get up in line. But like I said, it paid off, and here he is sitting third, but getting challenged by English on the bottom.
All right, so the field's scattered because of everything that has happened. They're all catching their breath, trying to regroup. Guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here tonight on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet and you are enjoying the show that these drivers are putting on, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And if nothing else, Brian Hicks needs he needs that positive affirmation. He's never done it before, so don't make him feel bad. Give that thumbs up to him, but more importantly, keep in mind, I always want you guys to cheer for the drivers that you are rooting for. This is the only chance you got. Cheer for them now, cheer for them often, fire up that chat, and let us know who you think is going to win here tonight. So Brian, this is, it's the second race in the round of 8 and the race that will set the championship 4. And I still have no idea who I would say will be our championship 4.
Man, I wish I could say as well, but I mean, the few that you've seen up here, Anthony English, man, he's not even a championship 8 driver, and he's up here asserting his dominance. He stayed up, he's won a stage, almost won a second stage. He's been up front the entire time, and then you got this line of green spoilers lined up on the outside, doing everything they can to try to snatch the win from him to lock themselves in the final 4. And it's put on an absolutely amazing show to watch these guys dance around bumpy Daytona like this.
Cody Nagels in the 6 is our race leader. He stays to the high side with Brian Wang. Has cleared the 44, but did not drop down in front of him. So Cody Nagels looks like he's saying this outside line is where I want to be. Brian, when you're seeing someone do that, what are you telling the driver who's maybe like Richard Sanchez in the 510?
I mean, if I'm Richard, honestly, I'm perfectly okay being behind Anthony English. Anthony English has led a ton of laps. And if he hasn't led the lap, he's been leading the lap on the bottom line. So, which means he's good at being pushed. So, like what just happened there, the 510, Richard just shoved him out front. He can't get out there too far. But I'm okay with staying behind English and Nagel staying up top. I don't want to be third in line. I want to be second.
All right, so Anthony English, who picked up a stage win, now battling with the 6 of Cody Nagels. As we work lap 56 of 100, we're going to come around off of turn number 4 to complete this lap. And Cody Nagels, no stranger to being out in front here on a Monday night, finds himself leading this race. Brian Wang leading all of our championship 8 contenders right now. Drivers who are out of the race, that is the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. and the 59 of John Guerrera. Sean McCarra and Zach Fritsch are drivers who are not on the lead lap. We took 32 cars to the green flag. 28 of them are currently on the lead lap. Gabe Butler finds himself the lowest running driver in the championship 8 right now.
If I'm Gabe Butler and I'm Rick Siebrands and Sebastian Marin, I'm starting to think, I'm starting to come up with a plan on how I'm supposed to get to the front. You know, while everything's calm, double file, I might be trying a couple different things on some of these guys that are just hanging around in the back. I might be trying to set up a pass to the outside or set up a pass to the inside. I'm practicing some moves back here while everything's calm and docile up front. So later in the race, you you're not unfamiliar with, this double file situation and having to put yourself in tight positions. So I feel like, hey, with just almost 40 to go, I feel like you need to be practicing some moves and not just hanging around the back. Still stay safe, but start setting yourself up.
Riding the onboard was Zach Workman, looking out the back bumper at the number 7 of Josh Milam. And I got to tell you, Ryan, there are quite a few cars who have some damage, but they're hanging on. They haven't given up just yet. They're doing all they can to finish this race out.
Now, I'll tell you one that surprises me that has managed to hang with the field, and that's Steven Corsick in the 027. I don't even think he's got a front end, and he's managed to stay with the field. I think a lot to do with that has to do with Siebrands being right behind him and keeping him caught up. But man, the effort that these guys are putting in with the damage that they have is a testament to the strength and determination of these guys.
Well, you're not wrong. A lot of these guys know what's on the line, and time again, I find myself saying I appreciate this driver because they haven't given up. One thing I've always said is if you enter a race, you do that race, no matter what happens, you try and do as many laps as possible. And so if your car's torn up, if it's damaged, you're not having a good time, like the 4 of Rick Siebrands, he gathers it back in. Not sure what happened there to the 4, but he was through the grass, but he held on to it and we stayed green. But anytime you show up to a race, in my opinion, you need to do everything you can to complete the race and to do as many laps as you can and to drive at the best of your ability every single lap.
100%. That's a lot easier said than done. I mean,
I agree.
If you're in a situation like Steven's in, I mean, he's very fortunate to be able to keep up with the field right now. But if he was just putting around, it's so hard to drive around here for the next 30 minutes. Significantly underpowered. So I mean, it's like you said, it's a great testament to these guys for them to hang around with the damage that they have.
Absolutely, and I say that because I'm a racer myself. I'll show up to the races I run, and if I have the ability to fix the car, then I'm tearing my car apart and doing whatever I can to try and make the race and get out there, even if it means I turn a few laps. I do everything I can to do every lap I can on every race I enter. And I just feel there's times, especially with this cartoon racing, that you have guys that say, I'm not going to win, they back off. They go somewhere else. But the drivers who make the commitment, I feel it. I get it, and I know what you're going through.
These guys are gridlocked up front, man. Anthony English can't get out in front of Cody Niegels, and Cody Niegels can't really clear English. You see English clear him just for a split second there, and then, before he can think about it, Niegels is right back out in front of him. It's just a game of back and forth. You got 4 guys racing. Uh-oh, look at there. And Eagles throws it down on the bottom. He's tired of running the high line.
Cody with that chop down below. Conley clear. Cody Nagels in the 6. The 44 of Anthony English. They're running on the first 2 cars on the inside line.
Oh, but trouble.
Oh my goodness, big time trouble.
Nathan Warren and Josh Millam got together.
Caution flag coming out for the first time here in the final sprint to the end of the race. Nathan Warren involved. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. I didn't back that up far enough. Take another look. The 9 of Nate Warren and the 7 of Josh Milam just make contact, and that's all it takes.
I'm butchering some of these names.
It happens. just do what I do and pretend like you nailed it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at that.
All right, one last look at this race from the this crash from the 23 of Sebastian Marin.
Man, you know, he had his eyes peeled trying to get through that.
They were wide open. All right, so with that being said, guys, we are going to step away for a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker, The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers are getting ready to fire off once again here in the final sprint to the end of this race. The Bumpy Road 250 is about ready to go back to green flag racing. And holy cow, here we go once again. Everything up in arms. Nobody knows where they're going to land. And the green flag comes out. Brian Wang in the 05. Trying to become one of the championship 4 drivers. In the booth with me here tonight is none other than Brian Hicks. Brian, they sail it off into turns 1 and 2.
Off of 2, the outside line did not get the start that they were hoping for, but they're getting the charge off of the corner that they were looking for when they took the green flag. I'm surprised Helton's able to get the push that he is. I'd be very careful if I was Hunter Reynolds pushing that 63 car because of the damage on the back. It's it'll be very easy to hook, but Helton drops down to the bottom in front of Wang going into 3, and he's going to lead the bottom off of 4 toward the line.
Logan Helton in the 63, last week's race winner, locking himself into the championship 4. This race, he said he was going to try and help his teammates, but right now he's out in front, and Logan Helton getting out in front, that's bad news for the rest of the field.
Yes, it is. Helton is a very strong super speedway driver, even when he's got damage. And I know he said earlier he was going to be trying to help his teammates, but when you get behind the wheel, it is, especially when you're out front, it is so hard to think about anything other than seeing that checker flag first.
I believe we call that the red mist. Yeah, as a driver myself, I can say that when the red mist settles in, there's nothing I think of other than what's in front of me.
That's all you can think about. Brian Wang all over the back. Do we got a caution?
Caution flag is out.
We didn't even see what happened.
Jimmy Reynolds, Steve Grossi getting caught up in this yellow flag. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Gonna back that up just a little bit more. All right, these two are damaged. They're working together. Steve Grossi in the 027 ahead of the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. 17 pushing hard on that 027 and into turns 1 and 2. Looked like just a bad touch in the corner, sends these two around, and the yellow flag is going to come out.
That's a bad look right there. Jimmy Reynolds, he hit the wall hard. I feel like that was probably a that whole wreck could have been avoided. Even if I know he was losing the field and he was doing everything he could to try to push Steve to get to catch back up, but that definitely could have been avoided. I'd rather just lose the field and not get wrecked than try to get the field and wreck myself in the process.
I believe we were just talking about the red mist.
Yeah.
There's a good example of it right there.
Exactly.
Jimmy doesn't ever want to do anything like that. Neither does Steve Grossi. But when it happens, it's because you're trying to do all you can to get everything you can.
That's exactly right.
All right, so on to pit road. Here they come. Couple drivers staying out. Dan Harrington, Peter DeBorgia, Casey Gilchrist, Josh Milam Rick Siebrands, Anthony English, and Zach Fritsch all stayed out. Everyone else on the pit road. Out of the race, Jeff Crosby Jr. in the 33, John Guerrera in the 59, Sean McCara not on the lead lap. He's multiple laps down in the 71. Outside of that, everyone else on the lead lap and stacked up, ready to go racing.
Brian Wang's going to win that race off the pit road, followed by Helton, Butler, and Reynolds. But they've got a good little number in front of them for this next restart. I think if I'm Wang's spotter right now, I'm just telling him to hold off, just not really force the issue on these 8 guys that stayed out front. And just wait for them to peel off the pit. And I mean, every one of these guys knows they're good enough to make up time during the pit cycles. So just hang out, let these guys race each other if they're going to do that, and then wait for pit stops to roll around and shuffle yourself up to the front that way.
Lights go out on the Ford Mustang. Brian, Al Smith is usually up here in the booth with me. And before he actually starts to open his mouth, are you a Ford, Chevy, or Toyota guy?
Oh, I'm a bow tie guy.
Okay, good. Ooh, I could hug you right now, because we're about to crap all over Al Smith.
The silence is deafening.
Al is finally into the booth. He is trying to load everything up. For those of you who don't know, Al owns a successful iRacing league, and he does that during the winter months, but he has also branched out to a remote controlled racing league, and he was working on his track that he is in charge of, so he gets the free pass here tonight, but he is finally trying to load in. We're gonna get some beautiful Al Smith remarks before this night is done and over with. So Brian, just keep in mind, he is a Ford guy, and therefore he gets no free pass.
All right, I won't talk about how many Chevys are in the top 10 right now.
I like it. All right, here we go. Pace car down and away. That's a Ford Mustang looking for pit road help. But away we go once again. The 82 of Dan Harrington leads this field to the green flag. Peter DeBorgia in the 40 to his outside, and into turn number 1 we go, side by side. 26 laps to go in this race. Keep in mind, we will use 2 attempts at a green-white checkered if we have to.
DeBorgia getting the push he needs off of turn 2 with the help of Josh Milam. Drops right down in front of Dan Harrington, who did not get the start he was looking for. Well, mainly, I think he had a decent start. He just didn't have the help from Casey Gilchrist that he needed. Gilchrist could not get to his back bumper, which allowed Harrington or Peter DeBorja to get down in front of him, but that might have been the wrong move too, as you see the outside prevailing heading into turn 1.
Here comes the 7 of Josh Milam. Been a long time since we talked about a race, but here he is out in front. And Josh Milam has a chance at winning his first race here in season 10. But he's got to get around Brian Wang, Logan Helton, and Anthony English to make it happen.
Anthony English is in a very familiar and comfortable spot, leading this race on the bottom with Brian Wang at his back bumper. And I think he's he's I think he's just right where he wants to be. I mean, he's set himself up in every which way to go out and win this thing. I mean, I know we got just 26 or 24 laps left, but I mean, with 24 to go, I think Anthony English is in a really good spot.
Well, I'll tell you who else is in a really good spot. That's my good buddy by the name of Al Smith Jr. How you doing, Al?
Well, I was doing fine till I got the door slammed in my face about the Fords on the way up to the tower.
Oh, oops. What happened?
You know what happened.
No, you'll have to tell me.
Well, you know, you guys were up here flapping your gums about the Fords, and then Milam took the lead. So, just saying.
Well, Al, I'm so glad to have you here, finally joining us in this race, man.
Yeah, it's been a week, KR, since we last talked on Monday. I've contracted walking pneumonia, and the weather finally broke, and I'm probably going to relapse on that because I can't take it easy, as you were talking about the RC track and stuff. But enough of that. We're in the last race, the penultimate race of the season. We're going to lock in 4 drivers. We know that Logan Helton is locked in from 1 week ago, I believe.
Correct.
My mind was cooking last week. I had 103 fever KR at the end of that one. So
somehow you made it through. For those of you who don't know, last week Al was sicker than a dog. He ponied up, pulled his bootstraps up to his nutsack, and did everything he could to get through the broadcast, and he deserves a whole lot of it.
That's what us Ford guys do, KR, you know?
Well, otherwise you never do a thing.
Well, that is true.
Chevy's got it easy. Our stuff just works.
I don't know. They got the Band-Aids covering the mistake on the front of the car, though.
Yeah, but at least we don't circle the problem.
No, we circle the answer.
Problem. Brian, you weren't ready for this argument, were you?
I mean, 4 guys are passionate. I mean, they've got to be.
That's all they got. They don't have trophies. They just got passion.
That's it.
All right, we'll find out who's raising the trophy at the end of this one, then. We are. Looks like Hunter Reynolds has it wrapped up at the front of the field here in front of that W63. Kevin Freis working the outside here. This is one of my favorite tracks. I'm very sad that I only got in here about 25 laps to go. It's been a great race. Brian, thank you for keeping KR company. Someone has to do it.
No problem.
I'm glad. I'm sorry that you got tagged in to hold the leash while I was out playing in the clay.
It was a pleasure. Kevin Freis chopped the nose off of Hunter Reynolds and stacked the whole inside line up, but it managed to work because the outside line did not get the run that I thought they would get when that inside line stacked up. They had managed to keep the bottom rolling. You know, Chevy bow tie out front leading the inside line.
Well, we have 20 laps to go, and this race is starting to wind down. I do want to point out, keep in mind, we have 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, but here comes some drivers to shake things up a little bit. Kevin Freis in the 25 entered tonight's race just above the cutoff line by 10 points. Logan Helton already locked in as the championship Ford. Kevin Freis, if he wins tonight, will be locked in. And then only 2 drivers can get in on points. So this season is still up in the air, Al. So I still don't know who's going to pull it out.
I mean, it's going to really be anybody's season at this point. The open round is we got pit stops here. Probably our final pit stop of the evening. We'll see if anybody. Oh, hang on to it. Jim Maier is turned sideways. Contact with Holloway, who straightens him back out. after a slight kiss to the front end of that Valvoline 95. So this is the money stop. I was just about ready to say, you do not want to make a mistake, and the 95 got turned sideways, not of his own doing. So we'll have to see how that pans out for him. As down and away goes Logan Helton. He'll win the race off of pit road. Zach Workman second off in Anthony English. That's how the top three will work off there, as Reynolds and Freis still battle out for your race lead as they enter turns 3 and 4.
See another group of guys led by Freis dropping down to pit road. Everybody gets in clean. And I was watching that first group in the pits, and I think a couple of those guys are expecting another caution, because I did not see fast repairs taken for the 4 or the 63.
One driver in trouble, Workman in the 04, serving a 40-second penalty on pit lane. He is down and away, but he will join Sean McCara as the cars that are not on the lead lap.
Tough break right there. This is the one point in the race where you really don't want to make a mistake, as we see Gilchrist pull out of this lead group. He's going to be a lone soldier down pit road. How about my boy David Overstreet with that throwback scheme, KR? I know I'm late to the party here, but he's in a Ford. Gave me a shout out today. I want to make sure we shout out to that 46 there, as he's inside the top 10 right now, running in that 9th position.
Alec, I couldn't. You were driving through a tunnel. I couldn't hear you.
I was.
Yeah, that 46 does look sharp, though. I will give it that.
All right. Do I sound better now?
What?
I got you. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Oh man. That first pack
Brian, this is me and Al. This is what we do, and we have fun doing it.
I love it.
Well, KR has fun.
Ouch.
That first pack, that pit, I'm telling you right now, they are not racing safely. They are 3 wide, dooring each other, and might have some trouble back there.
Oh, Zach Fritz still in trouble.
Rich is trying his hardest.
He was just looking for a place to crash.
Goodness gracious.
All right, so they settle it down. We have 15 laps to go. Gabe Butler leads this field. These are drivers who have made that pit stop. Sebastian Marin leads the drivers who have yet to come down pit road. Cody Nagels in the 6th, taking that lead away from him. 14 laps to go. Cody Nagels last on pit road on lap 72. We are working lap 86. Oh, and the caution flag has come out.
Oh boy.
Rick Siebrands in the 4 involved in this one.
Oh no.
And a championship contender could be looking at a bad situation. See if we can't back this up a little bit further. Rick Siebrands, Kevin Freis, Zach Workman, Brian Wang, all going into turn 3 side by side. And contact, and around they go.
Some hard contact also, KR, there for the 63 of Logan Helton. Brian mentioned that did not go to the backup car on that last pit stop, but that was some heavy front end contact to that 63. As Brian alluded to, they were all but trying to wreck for the last 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, luckily for Siebrands and Hilton, they both have their fast repair left. So,
all right, with that said, we're going to step away for the final time here tonight. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper, I rule this day. And BK, have it your way.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight as the Bumpy Road 250 presented by Butt Kicker continues on. In the booth with me here tonight is the legendary voice master himself, Al Smith Jr., and newcomer, Mr. Spotter Brian Hicks. Guys, thank you very much for joining me here tonight. This race, big time implications for championship contenders, but this race is almost done and over with. Gonna have 10 laps to go when the green flag comes out. Al,
It'll be interesting. There goes the E-Mustang down pit road to the charging station. Gave Butler on the gas pedal, Wang to the outside. Wang came in 10 points to the negative here tonight at the Daytona Bumpy Road. And what is the penultimate race of the season? Kevin Freis getting up to the gearboxes as well. 10-lap shootout. A little bit of differing strategies out there. Top 5 cars, all with older tires. Will that make a difference? I will find out. I think you would want fresher tires with the way this track is. It eats them up, it bounces you around. It'll knock your dentures out if you don't have them glued in. They are already 3 wide for the race lead. And look at all the green up there, KR.
yeah, that's not a lot of room 3 wide as they were through 3 and 4. I was kind of holding my breath right there, but Brian, these guys, they're making your job hard as a spotter.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't know. If with less than 10 to go, you just got to give your driver every bit of information you can. You're wanting to let him know how much room the guy in front of you got if you're not second in line. How much room he's got below him or above him. Which lines are coming from behind, which lines are starting to check up. It's and you're talking at 90 mile an hour just to try to, feed him the information he needs, and most of the time he can't even. But I mean, driver intuition has got. I tell this to Logan all the time. Driver intuition has to trump everything that I say. If you think you see or feel something that I don't, you take it, and I'll adjust accordingly to what you're doing. But I mean, when you're Brian Wang in this situation, you're boxed in and you're just holding on.
And what do you tell a driver at this point? You guys are bouncing around, you're 3 wide for the race lead, and say you're not locked in. How nervous are you for him behind the racing seat?
I have to, well, as a spotter, I have to kind of keep that level of calmness to keep him from getting worked up. I try to, when I'm spotting somebody or I'm spotting Helton, I'm trying to keep my voice as calm as possible. That way he is on top of his game and can make moves without second guessing the information I'm giving him. If I sound, well, they're 4 wide down the backstretch.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but quite a few of our championship contenders are inside the top 10. Rick Siebrands on the outside looking in. Zach Fritz just got shot off the track. Not a championship contender, but he does rejoin the race and has lost a lot of ground. Gabe Butler, Sebastian Marin, they're going to battle it out. Brian Wang finding himself inside the top 5 right now.
Everybody's setting themselves up right now. A win, and you're in. The only driver that's locked themselves in to that championship.
Oh, Richard Sanchez nose first into the outside wall. 6 laps to go with the yellow flag coming out.
I got turned into the outside wall in the lead pack after the caution was waived, and that collected a few more guys.
So I saw Sanchez nose first into the outside wall. And the yellow flag coming out. Dave Hunt getting involved. Let's see if we can't back this up and take a look and see what happened here. Sean McCarron, Richard Sanchez making contact. Rick Siebrands going through the grass to miss them.
Yeah. And you got to go on board with Peter DeBorgia after the yellow's thrown.
So yellow flag comes out and Peter DeBorgia gets into the wall and collects Dave Hunt. Wow, what a unique series of events on board with the 40 of DeBorgia.
It looks as if he checked up prematurely as the caution was thrown, or right as the caution was thrown, and Nichols was not anticipating that, and just kind of hit him in the back end, and it got him out of whack.
On board with the 6 of Cody Nagels. And yeah, you see a bunch of lane come out the back pipe of the 40 just as the 6 makes a move to the outside. Ooh, that is just bad timing, bad placement, and really no one's fault.
Now what do you do? You come
Well, I know what Siebrands just did.
You burn that fast repair?
He burned that fast repair. He just pulled the backup car out of the hauler.
He's got some work to do. He's going to be behind here.
Yeah, I think I would have used that fast repair during the previous cautions, or previous caution, because I mean, with the green-white checker, you don't have time to come from, I don't know where he's going to line up outside of the top 20. You don't have time to get up there and get yourself a win with 3 to go. Not outside the top 20.
Well, as we were talking during the break there, Brian, it is possible that he had the backup car unchecked where it wasn't an option the last time he came down pit road. So, costly mistake maybe, or just, maybe trying to save it for an instance like this. We won't know unless we ask him post race, but I'm with you. I think I would have burnt that before, during that last yellow flag.
As a long-time watcher of OP racing, I will tell you that going into green-white checkered attempts, being 1 lap down, does not mean you still can't finish on the podium, because it has happened.
I mean, there's a lot on the line tonight. Anything can happen,
All right, so the field is stacked up 2 by 2 behind that slow-moving Ford Buttstain.
Well, there's an electric
Marin
car.
and Gabe Butler on row number 1. Row 2. That is Brian Wang and Steve Carosi. Row 3 will be Zach Workman and Anthony English. So Al, if you would, why don't you take us to this green flag?
All right. I will try my best. I do drive a Ford. Come on, KR, set you up for that one.
I mean, yeah, you drive a Ford and you're trying your best. I didn't know what else to add.
All right, it is going to be Sebastian Marin setting the pace. He's on the inside lane in that Nexus white purple number 23. Gabe Butler also on the outside. Those two drivers need a win to secure their way into next week's championship race. Green flag is back out. Sebastian Marin gonna mash the gas to the floor panel as they work down here in the turn number 1. And a great start by that inside lane. He's got Steve Karasak right there up the tailpipe. So here comes Zach Workman down low as well. Workman trying to make something happen. Will we get back to the white flag? This is attempt number 1 at our green-white checkered. Here is now Gabe Butler with a head of steam with a great push by Wang in the turn number 3.
Into 3, man. Gabe Butler had an amazing push by Brian Wang. Brian Wang has showed all night that he has been a great pusher. He pushed English earlier in the race as they're going to take the white flag with the third line being formed by Logan Helton and James Maier.
Logan Helton in the 63 trying to pull his teammate, the 95 of Jim Maier, to a race win or trouble. The 95 tags the wall. This is the final lap. We did get the white flag. Nobody is going to slow down. Here they come to the end through turns 3 and 4, the 23 and the 88. Who's it going to be? Al Smith.
They're coming through turns 3 and 4. They are side drafted, paint being swapped. Will Wang stay behind Butler? Butler swings to the outside. He's got it by half a car to the tri-oval. Checkered flag is up, and it's going to be Gabe Butler picking up the win. Marin second. Wang will come home third. Korasak and Kevin Freis rounding out your top 5. But Gabe Butler with a great push by the 05 of Brian Wang. He will dance next week. We will have to wait to see how the points shake out, who will be the other 2 dancing partners coming to a championship race next week. But how about that finish? A lot to unpack there. Big wrecks, including a lot of our championship hopefuls here down the back stretch, but it's all eyes were on Gabe Butler as he picks up tonight's win and punches his ticket to the championship 4.
I'll tell you, Gabe Butler winning this race locks himself in. Sebastian Marin, championship contender in second place. Brian Wang, championship contender in third. Kevin Freis, championship contender, rounds out the top 5. And with all of that being said, Logan Helton and Gabe Butler are the only 2 I feel we can say are locked in to the championship 4.
Yeah, all eyes are going to be turned to the point standings now. What an incredible race to the end right there. Gabe Butler had an amazing shove by Wang, and Wang was just locked on him from the entry into turn 3 all the way to the start finish line. Siebrands just didn't really have enough help from behind to make it work. What shocked me was the 3 wide move. It looked really similar to the last lap of last week when Helton shot to the outside and made it work. It's unfortunate he didn't get a better finish, because he had that with just him and one other car. They had that outside line really rolling.
All right, Brian, you ready to talk to our race winner?
Let's do it.
All right, take it away, man.
Gabe Butler, you have just locked yourself into the top 4 for the championship next week. Take us back to that start of that green-white checkered.
Well, I was kind of surprised. Seabass took the bottom there. He had his teammate, but I had my teammate too, Brian, and we just got it done, man. That was unbelievable. I needed the win. I was too far behind in the points, and my team just pulled through, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was amazing. Wang was glued to your back bumper that entire last lap, it seemed, and the inside just didn't have anything for y'all. It was almost like y'all were one car with double the horsepower. I mean, I don't think y'all ever, got dislocked on that entire final lap.
No, yeah, Brian did a superb job, and I think I heard Kevin in chat in our Discord saying he was almost to us, and he said, and I guess coming down the backstretch, he got to us, and it was perfect timing, and we were able to get that little push away from Seabass there, and got us across the line P1, man. I mean, what a job by the team. Just unreal. Fantastic job.
Yeah, congratulations, man. That was it was incredible racing, and I really look forward to watching you battle it out for the championship next week in the Final 4.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I appreciate it, man.
Anybody you want to shout out to?
Yeah, huge shout out to my teammates, and especially Brian there at the end. Just like I said, super job, team win. Shout out to OP and the Ridemen's to do a great job running this league, and of course you guys up in the booth. Can't wait to watch this one back, and of course, big shout out to my lovely wife Jeannie, who's watching. I hope she got a kick out of that one.
Thank you, man. Again, congratulations.
Thank you, fellas. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
All right, that is Gabe Butler, our race winner, locking himself into the championship 4. But another driver who has a very solid chance at being locked in, but we can't say for sure. Al, I believe you have caught up with the driver in the 23.
I'm down here on pit road with this 23 of Sebastian Marin and Seabass. You did everything in your powers. You chose the inside line to get lined up with your teammate. And what a finish there. I guess the chaos was behind you, and they left you guys up front to battle it out, and it was a good, clean battle to the checkered flag.
Yeah, sure was. Did everything I could lining up there with my teammate. I mean, I could have picked the middle, but I rather just decided to see, which team. You had the Boot Knockers of Core up top and Steel Cup games on the bottom. So I didn't want to really mix things up and allow, I guess, games to be played. So yeah, I came up short by a little bit. I don't know if we'll barely make it in or barely miss out, but still, congrats to Gabe. He's had quite awful luck this season, so it's good to see him get a win and get locked into the Final Four, much deserved. But yeah, overall, just another good result. Quite a shame that I had to use my fast repair so early on, especially because I think I was the only playoff car that got junked so early. So I couldn't really go for stage points because I knew I kind of had to be there at the end just in case. So unfortunate how the race played out, but still P2 did most that I could. So hopefully we make it through. And if not, well, oh well, that's how things play out.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out. But you came in, pardon me, you came in here tonight, looking pretty decent. You were down there 1 point behind there, so finishing here on the podium should definitely help out in the overall points. But next week we are right back here. They're going to bring the pavers out, make this track smooth. What's it going to take to win the championship? If you're inside the top four, or make sure that one of your teammates can?
Just track position. Track position seems to be always be key for these plate races. I mean, there at the end specifically, I mean, if I didn't have the front row, who knows what happened? Could have been caught up in a wreck or just gotten wrecked trying to make a move. So just track position and just having your teammates and friends up there together to help you out in case anything happens. So I think whoever wins next week is just going to be up there and have their buddies to help them out. That's what's going to take.
Well, congratulations on this runner-up finish. It's been a good season for you this season. We hope to see you next week where you maybe can cap it off one spot better.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Thank you. It's been a pretty wild season, but yeah, just thank you guys. Shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank you to my teammates Hunter, Jimmy, who ran with us this race, Cody, and Steve there at the end. So shout out to them, and thank you very much for putting on this broadcast again.
There you go. That Siebrands coming up in that runner-up spot here tonight. All eyes are on that championship point standings, KR, as I believe you caught up with our third place finisher, Brian Wang.
I have caught up with our third place finisher, and that is the driver of the 05 and a nickname that has come to be synonymous. That is Brian effing Wang. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing really good. Just got Gabe the win. So yeah, we got first, third, and fifth. So yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Well, man, the points battle being what it is, if you don't win, it's hard to say where you're going to finish, but man, this 05 was out in front of almost every situation that mattered here tonight.
Yeah, it was really crucial to get stage points tonight. The only race this season where I actually qualified, yeah, there were a few wrecks that just happened behind me, and yeah, lucky to be ahead of them.
All right, well, the 05 does bring it home in the third and final step of the podium here tonight. So, doing your own math, how do you feel you sit to become a championship 4?
It's going to be really close on points, like extremely close, I believe. But Kevin should be in, and Gabe is definitely in. So yeah, just glad to get Gabe into the championship 4.
Well, man, nice job here tonight, Brian. Shout outs, thank yous that you'd like to give?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for broadcasting, everybody at OP, all the admins, the drivers, and thanks to Team Bootnaka.
All right, well, Brian effing Wang, Tell us a little bit about the story of your nickname.
Yeah, it was a race, that OP race, about 2 months ago. That bottom split broadcasted, and he said my name like that when I won the race, and it was really funny. And so everyone just calls me that now.
Well, we are keeping it age appropriate for obvious reasons. But Brian, nice job here tonight and bringing it home in the final step of the podium.
Thanks.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our podium finishing drivers. Al, showing up a little bit late, but thank you very much for joining us here tonight.
Oh, as always, Kara, again, I apologize for running a little bit late there between being sick and then it's opening week here at my RC track. So I had extra help here tonight, so we went a little bit long. I'm like, guys, I have to be home by 9 o'clock. I got the best iRacing league that I would like to broadcast, and we're busy. So I apologize for being late to all of your fans, KR, because we all know no one cares about me.
All right. Well, with that being said, no one cares about you, Al. Everyone cares about Mr. Spotter Hicks himself. So, Brian, thank you very much for being here tonight. Your first race in the booth with me. What do you think?
Oh man, it was a pleasure, man. I would if you ever need somebody to fill in, you holler at me and I'll be here. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I love watching these things to begin with. So getting to talk about it at the same time is just icing on the cake.
Well, you like Chevys, so that's a one-up over Al.
I have a feeling my pink slip is coming.
Oh, no.
Pink slip? No, I ain't going to waste the ink on you.
That's true.
All right, so Brian, thank you very much for being here. Al, man, I'm so glad you're feeling better and could join us here tonight. So thank you for showing up, even though you were a bit late, but I know why. And I'm just glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, thanks. Still a little bit under the weather. I'm sure you can probably hear that in my voice. But
just a touch.
We're gonna power through it, KR. You know, hey, I do want to point out my boy David Overstreet, who switched to Ford tonight, a top 10.
All right. With that being said, Brian, we're gonna throw you under the bus and let's hear your chops one more time for signing off.
From everybody here at Turn 3 Racing Network and all you fans that watch the OP Racing Series Premier Series every week, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch y'all next week.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.